Hey ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia of Explain America, and Kamala Harris just got some devastating news for her campaign. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out and they help our channel continue to grow. And if you're not watching us on YouTube, guys, follow the address right there in the lower right hand corner. It's youtube.com/@explainamerica. Go there, subscribe for free. It really helps us. Michael Smerconish is a voice of reason on CNN. He's one of the few conservative voices, even if he's not a Trumper, and he's not. Michael Smerconish is one of the few voices of reason over at CNN. He's certainly not a Trumper, but he's not really an anti-Trumper. He's a journalist. He's an old school journalist who does his job. And he laid the facts out bare for Kamala Harris. He explained what her real problem is going to be in this election. Because the honeymoon period's just about over. After the DNC, maybe another week of honeymoon after that, and then it gets time to really start thinking about who the president's going to be. And that's where Kamala Harris suffers, because Kamala Harris has had really a non-existent vice presidency. She's been invisible for most of it. She hasn't done anything. As Smerconish points out here, there's not one accomplishment she can point to and say, I did that, you know, and there's not really much she can campaign on. All the things she's saying she's going to do on day one, the voters are turning to her and saying, why aren't you doing them right now? You are in the vice presidency. You're the second most powerful person in the United States. Why is none of this being done right now? Or do you want us to believe you're powerless as vice president? Come on. You want us to think Joe Biden, Weekend at Bernie's Joe, is running the show? Come on. We know better, Kamala. I'm sorry, Kamala. That really is an accident, by the way. There was a wrestler named Kamala, spelled exactly the same way. I was a big wrestling fan. I've been pronouncing it that way for probably 3 decades. So I'm trying to learn this thing, but it's taken time. Anyway, go ahead and, I know you don't care. Go ahead and watch this video and let me know what you think in the comments.
Of course, whether the Harris hurricane lasts is another thing. Kamala Harris is not indestructible. She has served as an undistinguished, nearly invisible vice president. There appears no accomplishment she can point to for her most important responsibility, addressing the origin of the border crisis. Second, she picked a nice guy from Minnesota in Tim Walz, but he might turn out to have as many warts as J.D. Vance. And I don't mean the allegation of stolen valor. He spoke sloppily in that instance, but I don't think there's much there. But the CNN K-File report of his congressional campaign deceit over his DWI is a real and embarrassing issue. As usual, the cover-up was worse than the crime. It's still too soon to know how much she might regret not picking Josh Shapiro. And third, thus far, Harris has had a free ride. She's not given any media interviews, hasn't faced voter questioning. When asked recently, she said that she would give an interview by the end of the month. She said that on August the 8th. No doubt she wants more time on the clock to prepare answers as to why she's flipped on health care, fracking, weed, and the death penalty, to name just a few. Sooner or later, she's going to be held accountable and face pressure that she has thus far largely avoided. Just yesterday, her first substantive economic policy proposal, it received mixed reviews. Bernie Sanders loved it. He called her idea a strong progressive agenda, but the Washington Post said that her proposals were gimmicks. CNN's analysis said that her plan could create more problems than it solves. You'd think that she'll enjoy another week of positive coverage amidst the DNC, which will feature 3 Democratic presidents, but with passions inflamed about Israel and Gaza, there is an air of unpredictability as to what will happen in Chicago. As I like to say, still to come, events we could never foresee and individuals whose names that today we don't even know. It all brings me to today's poll question at Smerconish.com. Between now and Election Day, who will make fewer big mistakes? Kamala Harris or Donald Trump? Join him in